All right, everyone. Get ready for a deep dive today into the world of microlights. We're talking about the Skyleader J400, a sleek new aircraft that's got everyone buzzing. We're lucky enough to have this awesome review from Microlight Flying Magazine to guide us, the June 2023 issue. Are you ready for some serious aviation geekery?
Absolutely. This goes beyond just a review, This is an introduction to a potential game changer.
Ooh, okay. I like where this is going. So what is it about the J400 that's got you so excited?
It's this blend of, high-end features, but with microlight agility. You see, there's always been this gap between the top-of-line microlights and the heavier two-seaters. And the J400 just seems to bridge that gap, beautifully.
Yeah. Okay, you've definitely got my attention now. But before we go any further, maybe we should rewind a bit. For anyone listening who might be new to all of this, what is it that makes the J400 so special?
Well, the interesting thing about the J400 is that it's not exactly brand new. It's got a history. It actually traces its lineage all the way back to the Kappa KP2 Usova from 1996.
The Sova, that's right. It had that retractable gear
Yeah.
and that cool staggered seating arrangement. I remember reading about it. It never quite made it to the UK, though, did it?
Exactly. But the J400, it takes that basic DNA and kind of evolves it. It's got that side-by-side seating you expect in a modern microlight now, plus a fixed undercarriage. And get this. Every single part of the J400's airframe is made from traceable aircraft quality aluminum or steel. This is not some, pieced together kit. We're talking meticulous, high-end engineering.
Well, that's a serious step up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like comparing a hand-built sports car to a mass-produced sedan. And speaking of sleek design, the J400 has some serious curb appeal, doesn't it?
Well, it's not just about aesthetics, although those sporty lines definitely turn heads. Imagine this, a fiery red, low-wing monoplane with these robust wing root fillets. Those are the curves where the wings meet the body. And they not only look good, but they also contribute to its stability in the air. And then you've got that sturdy undercarriage ready to handle anything you throw at it, really.
Sounds like they thought of everything. Now, I've got to ask, what makes this bird actually fly? What's under the hood?
Well, they've gone with the ever-reliable Rotax 912 engine. You've got the option for either 80 HP or a punchier 100 HP version, depending on what you need. But here's where it gets really interesting. They've fitted it with an E-prop.
An E-prop. Okay, now that's interesting. Can you break that down for us? What is an E-prop, and what makes it so special?
So imagine you've got an automatic transmission, but for your propeller. That's essentially what the E-prop is. It's basically a variable pitch propeller, which means it adjusts itself constantly for the best performance, whether you're taking off, cruising at high altitudes, or coming in for a landing. It's like having a co-pilot who's just dedicated to making your propeller as efficient as possible.
That's incredible. It's like getting the best of both worlds, right? Powerful when you need it, but also fuel efficient for those long flights. And speaking of efficiency, I noticed the review mentioned something about D's fasteners on the engine cowling. Now, I have to admit, my technical knowledge might need a little bit of a refresh. Could you explain what those are and why they matter?
Yeah, you're right. Those D's fasteners might seem like a small detail, but they actually say a lot about how the J400 was designed. They're these quick release mechanisms, almost like high-tech clasps, and they make it incredibly easy to access the engine for inspection or maintenance.
So they were really thinking about making it easy to own. That's a big plus for pilots who like to tinker themselves or want to minimize any downtime. Okay, I can't wait any longer. The review made the cockpit sound absolutely incredible. What are the details?
Okay, so picture this. You're settling into a cockpit that's not only functional, but it's surprisingly spacious and comfortable, especially for a microlight.
Yeah, the review mentioned adjustable rudder pedals, which are a godsend on those longer flights, I tell you, and get this decent baggage space.
I know, right? You're not sacrificing practicality for performance with this aircraft. But what really stood out to me, and I think this really shows how the J400 is intended to be used as a serious touring aircraft, is the option for an autopilot.
Yeah, I saw that too, and it's pretty remarkable. You don't see that very often in a microlight. Does that even change how the aircraft is classified?
That's a good question. It will be interesting to see how aviation authorities adapt to these kinds of advancements. But I think beyond classifications, it really speaks to the type of flying experience that the J400 is offering, long-distance comfort and capability. And let's not forget about the view. Those gullwing doors, they're not just stylish, they provide excellent visibility, and they make getting in and out a breeze.
Speaking of experiencing the J400 firsthand, the review made the takeoff sound exhilarating.
Oh, yeah. The reviewer talked about the E-prop spooling up, this almost futuristic whine as it adjusts pitch, and then that smooth, effortless lift off the runway. They were clearly impressed by how responsive it was.
Wow, I can just imagine myself behind those controls. So, once you're up in the air, what's it like to fly?
2 words: stable and responsive. And keep in mind, this review is from someone who has flown a lot of different aircraft. They were raving about the J400's handling. They specifically mentioned the electric trim system, which helps fine-tune the aircraft's balance and control during flight. It makes it even more enjoyable to fly.
So it's not just a one-trick pony. It's as comfortable hopping between short fields as it is cruising across the country.
Absolutely. And that versatility, that's a game changer. It opens up so many possibilities for pilots. Imagine a weekend trip to the coast, no problem. Or exploring the countryside from a whole new perspective. The J400 is up for it.
It really does blur the lines, doesn't it? Between those high-end microlights and the heavier two-seaters, you get impressive performance and comfort, with all the bells and whistles of a more expensive aircraft.
Exactly. And that's clear when you look at its potential range. The reviewer even suggested that a flight from, say, London to Barcelona on a single tank of fuel might be possible. That changes everything.
London to Barcelona without refueling. Now that's what I call a weekend getaway. It really sounds like this J400 could shake things up. What kind of impact do you think it will have on the microlight market as a whole?
It's definitely one to keep an eye on for pilots who are looking for that balance. Performance, comfort, efficiency. The J400 really ticks all the boxes. And with its potential to open up those longer routes and new possibilities, it could attract a whole new generation of microlight enthusiasts.
It's almost like it's creating its own category, a class of microlight that's as comfortable on long journeys as it is on those shorter hops around the airfield. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And one thing that struck me when I was reading this review was just the sheer passion behind the J400's design. It's more than just, a collection of parts. It's really a testament to that enduring dream of flight, of pushing boundaries and exploring new horizons.
Yeah, and the craftsmanship too. It's so clear that they put a lot of thought into every little detail, from those D's fasteners we talked about, to the option to have an autopilot. They weren't just building an aircraft, they were crafting an entire experience.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes the J400 so captivating. It speaks to the adventurer in all of us.
Well said. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of the Skyleader J400 in the skies very soon.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive will inspire some of you listening to consider taking to the skies yourselves.
I hope so. There's a whole world of aviation adventure out there just waiting to be discovered.
That's right. And if you do find yourself at the controls of a J400 someday, be sure to let us know. We'd love to hear all about it. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring and happy flying.